Hey, my friends, it's Patrick Allman from Stop Doing Nothing. It's good to talk to you as it is every single week. And this week, I thought we'd take a little bit deeper dive into one of the success topics that is not really obvious, but is really important as you mature along a certain path. And so, forgive me if I speak a little bit slower this week, because this topic is one that I am just now learning to perfect, if you will, or understand or pay attention to, and that is the importance of your self-awareness when it comes to goal setting, energy management, health, wellness, the people you deal around with you. And when I'm referring to self-awareness, I'm referring to you knowing physically, physiologically, medically what's going on with you, so you know how to deal with other people, and you know what puts you in certain states, because state management, of course, is monumentally important when it comes to success and your mood. But oftentimes people don't pay attention to, or they kind of ignore their internal awareness or the self-awareness factor when it comes to things. And so what you end up doing when you do that, when you are not self-aware about certain factors, and we're going to cover those, when you're not self-aware of those, you're always kind of uncomfortable. You're always, doing things you don't want to do. You may not be saying things you want to be saying, or not using the words you want to say. You may be, working on tasks that you're just not good at, that you completely suck at. And by the way, we talked about that in a previous video, so please make sure you go watch that. So there's a couple of things that I want you to start paying attention to when it comes to self-awareness management. The first one is just when and where do you work best? You've heard, and it really can be just some simple things, as environment and when you wake up. We all know, or people say at least, that there's morning people and that there's afternoon people and there's evening people. And there are some people that work great at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's some people that just, no matter what they do, cannot wake up until 10 o'clock in the morning and get their feet dragging. Know when you will work the best in those particular areas, and reschedule your work and reschedule your prime activities and your socializing around those. As you know, I'm a big fan of time blocking. You're setting up your day in 2-hour blocks or 4-hour blocks to get things done. And so if you start learning when your key energy is and when your peak energy is, you can start making sure that you do the important things, like maybe meetings or sales calls or physical activity during those peak times. What I've learned is if you fight against that, if you try to do things at your off-peak times, your non-peak times, you're fighting a losing battle. There's just nothing you can do about it. And you may be trying to go to the gym, for example, at a time when you're not energetic, or you may be trying to give a public speech at a time when you're not energetic, or you may be trying to work on sales calls, and that's just not your prime time. So figure that out and reshift your life. And oftentimes I know you have no control over your schedule, and that's why I'm so happy to see us slowly move to a society that's not necessarily focused on the 8 to 5, because that really helps with state management and being self-awareness. I would also, something else in the world of self-awareness that I want you to pay attention to is the importance of your state and of the mood that you're in. And I know this may seem kind of weird, because Patrick, I'm always in a good mood or a bad mood. No, that's not necessarily true. There are times when you can just be sitting at your desk, for example, and you may be in a good mood or a bad mood, but you may be in a social mood, you may be in an antisocial mood, you may be in a frantic mood, you may be in a frustrated mood. When you're in a mood that doesn't lend itself to highest productivity or to the best communication, stop that activity right there, because you're going to suck at it. And there are times, when I'm sitting at my desk, for example, where I know that now's not the good time for me to write an email, or now's not the good time for me to sit here and try to accomplish a certain thing, because I'm not in that state. I don't feel it. And I can't force myself to feel it. I can't force myself to feel energetic sometimes. Coffee sounds great, but coffee does not fix all problems. And there may be times also when you have to make phone calls like that. And when you make phone calls and you're trying to communicate with people and you're not in your optimum state, then the person on the other end will feel the phone call went kind of odd. They're like, that's not the normal Patrick I talked to. That's not the right right person to talk to. And another thing I want you to keep in mind when it comes to self-awareness is how you react when you're around certain people. As you know, you're supposed to put yourself around people that you want to be like, but there are times where we're around people that put us in a bad mood, and it's just not good for us to do or say certain things when we're in those moods. You know what I'm talking about. You know when you get in with certain crowds, or you're by certain friends that are more like acquaintances than friends, and you don't really feel great around them. You don't feel at your peak. You don't feel your peak energy, your peak optimism. You feel like that person's kind of dragging the energy out of your room. The Debbie Downers of the world. Remember on SNL when they had the Debbie Downer skit? I love Debbie Downer because people would just, you can just see, but even though it was acting, it was great to see how people would just, their mood and the physiology and the way they set up or the way that they shrugged would happen around that character. That's that Debbie Downer, you know, when it comes to art imitating life, that Debbie Downer is a real person. And a lot of us have a Debbie Downer in our life, or a Dave Downer, or someone who can just kind of suck the air and the energy out of the room. When you're around that person, you need to be very aware of what you say and how you act, and also try to get yourself out of that situation as soon as possible. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what puts you in these different states and the energy management there. I'm sorry if my mind's wandering a little bit because I have several things I want to say here. For me, and I've emphasized this before, food management and energy management is key to controlling your state. You know, things like processed sugar, things like a high carb, low energy, low protein diet will actually affect your state and your mood. And there may be days when you haven't eaten the right food, when you notice your moods and your states and your energy level and your self-awareness is just completely screwed up and you can't get control of it and you don't know what it is. You're just like, I don't know what it is about having an off day. Do you have off days? Because I know I sure as hell have off days. When you're having an off day like that, it's time to address some of the base possible issues when it comes to your physiology. And it may be you're dehydrated. It may be that you're over caffeinated. You can very easily get over caffeinated. I do it, you know, more often than I would like to admit. You have to look at the food you're eating. Obviously, a high protein diet is good. I think every health consultant will tell you that. But if you find yourself in where you're having weird self-awareness issues and you're not in the best mood with the highest energy, please address it from a health perspective first. I've heard countless times when people have had health issues, they were intaking the wrong food or dealing with some kind of other detriment in their diet, and they fixed something. It was one simple pill or one shift in the way they ate two things together, and everything completely changed for them. But that's the basis of all this state management and health management. So again, always be aware of your state, of what you're feeling and the optimum time to do things and the optimum time not to do things. If you can get control of your state by being self-aware, you'll have a better time scheduling your day and your weeks and your months, because you know when is the right and the wrong time to do this. And of course, this changes over time with age and the hormones going on in men and women's bodies. But once you learn how to master that, and once you actually study it, you start studying your own physiology and your own state management. It's amazing how you can kind of control and alter things. And you can tell that to people around you. You're like, you know, this is not a good time for me to do this because I'm not in my prime state, or I just know that I'm having energy or physiological issues. So, you know, I'm not an expert on this by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know these are some of the things I've learned over the years that have kind of helped me readjust my energy and where I put my focus on things, and even when I do things and when I schedule things on my calendar. So please get on top of this. I can't emphasize that enough. As always, thank you for watching. Subscribe all over social media and on YouTube, and give me a shout out if you happen to watch this all the way to the end, because it's absolutely amazing that you had that attention span enough to watch it all the way to the end. And as always, shoot me your questions. Questions from the field are the best questions, and I'll get those answered on this show, which is also the podcast. And as always, please go over and rate the podcast over on iTunes. This has been Patrick Allman from StopDoingNothing.com. I'll get this video up there for you as soon as possible. As always, thank you for watching. I love every single one of you, and we will see you at the next show. Take care.